In this video we'll be making something similar to this animation right over here that I did. So we'll be making a walk animation using inverse kinematics in Unity. So let's get started. So I have a new scene in which I'll be adding my model. So with our model, let's reposition it a little bit. Before starting with anything, let's go to a package manager and download animation rigging package. Just let me show you where it is. In the package manager you can find animation rigging package. Just import it into your project, download it and import it. Now in our model's parent object, let's add a rig builder. Let's just search for a rig builder and let's leave it like that for a second. In our hips, let's create an empty object. Sorry. Let's put it under model's parent. Let's name it IK and add a rig to it, rig component to it. So now in our leg foot and our right foot, we'll need to make an empty object. Empty object just so it can get its position. We'll do the same thing with the right foot. We'll create an empty object so it will get the position of the right foot as well and drop it under our IK empty object. So name it left IK and right IK. You can do the same thing with the hands as well, but right now let's do the legs. Let's add two bone IK constraint. You should find all these components if you have the animation rigging package installed in your project. In the right IK, you can see it will it need reference to three objects: root, mid and tip. So our root is going to be our right up leg. Let's give reference to this. The mid one is our right leg and our tip is going to be our right foot. And in the left IK, we'll do the same thing. So you will see it's also asking for two more objects, target and hint. Our target is going to be the same object. For the right one, it's going to be the right IK. For hint, we'll make another empty object inside our right IK and our left IK. So let's position them in front of our knee. Do the same thing for our left IK and position them in front of the left leg, left knee. Let's give them the reference. Do the same thing for the left one. We are almost all set. We can test the IK system, but before that, in our rig builder, we need to drop our IK. As you can see, it asks for an object that holds rig component. That's why we added this rig component in our IK. Let's try it in the start mode. Okay, this is looking good. Before making the animations, let's make another empty object. Let's name it MultiConstraints. constraints. In our multi-constraints, first let's add rig component. In the same thing that we did for the IK, we'll have to give it reference. Let's make another slot in our list and give reference to our multi-constraints as well. This will just make our animations look much more nice. So there are two types of multi-constraints that we'll be using, one for the position and one for the rotation. So let's start with the multi-constraint for position. Even this component should be available to you. If you will see multi-position constraint, in our multi-position constraint, for a constraint object, let's give reference to our hips, and in our source objects they're going to be our right IK and left IK. Let me show you what this does. So if I happen to do this, the whole hips are moving with the target. Let's make the weight something like 0.1 for the multi constraints. Now let's try it again. Yes, this looks nice. It will make animations look great, so that's what we are aiming for. Let's create another empty object. This time we are making for rotation. Let's add multi-rotation constraint. Our constraint object should be our hips. And in the source object, let's add our left up leg and right up leg. Let's test it. Okay, that's making it rotate way too much. So let's make the weight less and let's remove constraint from z-axis. Sorry, let's remove it from the x-axis and then try again. Okay, it's making the body rotate, as you can see. Yes, that's how we want to make the walk animation look. So multi-position constraint, multi-rotation constraint make this really simple. Let's do the IK thing with our hands as well. For that, in our right hand, let's make an empty object just like we did before. Let's name it right hand IK, just so it gets the position of our right hand. Do the same thing with our left hand. Let's start by giving reference to our right arm, then our forearm, and finally our hand. For our hint, let's create an empty object inside. And position it behind our elbow, where the joint should be moving towards. And let's test it. This is good. Inside a multi-constraint, let's also add constraint for our hands. Let's add multi-constraint for our rotation. For the constraint object, it should be spine 2. So it's the parent of our shoulders. So it should look, I added into the wrong section. Let me just, yeah, it should be a constraint object, and our right arm and left arm should be our source objects. Let's see how this is looking. We can work on the weight. Let's save our project and start with our animation. So our casual body, in which we made a rig builder, it should always has an animator. If we add a rig builder and we don't have an animator in that object, Unity will add an animator itself. Let's create an animation, name it walk animation. So let's move to 1 minute frame. Let's move our right leg behind this time. In the left one, in front. Let's copy the first frame by pressing Ctrl plus C and Ctrl plus V. So this should give us a good loop. I will be working on the animation a little bit more. Guys, I'm really sorry for the audio in this video. It was screwed up, I know. It's not usually the case, but in this video I screwed up the settings somehow. So now I just right now in the video I'm doing some improvements by adding frames for hands, so our animation look better. This is our final output that we gained. I think the animation looks good. I hope it was useful for you guys, and if it was, please drop a like and do subscribe. Thank you.